Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to Tokimotive. Alright, I won't keep you for long at the start. I will say, recording was a bit all over the place, just doing a lot of fiddly stuff and just not knowing really where the video is starting and ending, but you'll get the point. I've cropped it together alright. So, stay tuned, enjoy the video, I'll talk to you later. Bit of professional loom wrap. Alright, so tank in the new wagon looks fucking mint. Looks like there's no issue. There's just like a broken off zip tie or something sitting in the bottom, or a little tie off the pump or something. So that's no issue. It's clean as. I'll just get rid of that old stale fuel. The fuel lines have been cut, which no big deal. I'll grab the ones out of the old wagon because they're pretty well new. Or I'll fucking pull the pump out of that other one, see how it's fared. I put that in 4 years ago, but that tank looks mint. The rubber seal still fits, which is fucking rare considering this hat was only held on by 2 bolts. I want to touch on something while I'm moving these pumps around. So, for putting a screened in-tank pump into your 31, which for the sedans, if you go on the R31 Skyline wiki, you will have a full tutorial about it, a full write-up, saying your measurements to get your clearance off the bottom of the tank, everything like that. But the 31 wagon tank's depth of the tank's a little bit different. But basically, you run amp wiring through the car or something like that, some thick wire, so that you've got a good power supply to the pump, because the factory wires will not hold up. They're very, very thin. Like, that is not going to hold up to a high-powered pump. You're just not going to get everything out of the pump, and you'll probably burn the pump or the wiring out. So 8 gauge amp wiring is what I fed in, which I was worried about it getting damaged by the fuel. Never had an issue, but I never looked at it for like the last 5 years. And now that I've pulled it out, apart from losing the color and the casing on the wiring going a little bit hard, it's no issue whatsoever. I've given a bit of a fucking jiggle, nothing's loose or looks like it's gonna break, anything like that. It's held up well. I'm gonna literally slap it in how it is. But I removed the two wire posts that fed power and earth to the pump, drilled them out and put a grommet that the 8 gauge wire would struggle to fit through, which I've got there, and hasn't leaked at all in many years, so that's pretty decent. You split the rubber boot that they've got there open that has these little pins that go through it. That's what holds your pump in. I split that, clearance some of the sides so I could actually get it back in the tank, which is tight, but it does go in. On a relay and then have it triggering off your factory fuel pump wiring signal, trigger your thicker 8 gauge wire through a relay. For getting the clearance for the pump to the bottom of the tank is Aeroflow 023 equivalent, which was 99 bucks. I ended up screwing up the recording. When you're checking the pump for the clearances with the bottom, you're targeting about 15 mil off the bottom. That stops it from cavitating, from being too close to the bottom. And it also stops it from, you get down to like half a tank and you get fuel surge on the road sort of thing, if you start creeping over that 20 mil mark. So, the wagon tank is 230 mil from the top where the hat bolts to the tank. And I've got my pump set, so from the top of the hat to the bottom of the pump is set at 215 mil. That gives me my 15 mil clearance. Sedans will be different, but the measurement for sedans is written up on that R31 Skyline wiki sort of tutorial thing. So you can go on there and you'll have a rough idea of where everything's meant to sit. But for the wagon, just measure it yourself, target that 215 mil, you should be sweet. fucking, whoops. New pump is in, 90% of the old fuel is out of the tank. The wiring's been run, the old fuel pump wiring and trailer plug wiring has been removed because I don't plan to tow anything with it, but having the tow bar there as a jack point is going to be real fucking handy. Just slap it straight under there rather than trying to get down on the ground and aim it up underneath the diff every time. If I get time, I'll pull it off and give it a paint, but I'm not too concerned, honestly. Once this thing's back and running and good, I'll give the whole thing a paint. But for now, I'm just going to touch up the white. So I'm not too concerned about the tow bar piece looking rusty. I don't really give a fuck. Earlier, we finished cleaning up around the windscreen where all the old silicone was, which I should have done before I put the fucking dash in, but I didn't. Probably going to give around the roof and everything, just where I want to paint, a wipe down and a light sand just to get the paint to stick, and then try and feather in some of the gloss white acrylic paint I've got. Going acrylic, not enamel, so that we can, well, I can respray back over it later with proper paint off the gun without it causing issues and reactions with the paint. So this, I should just be able to rough it back, fix any dents I want fixed and imperfections I want fixed, and then just give the car a paint with something proper rather than having to sand it back to bare metal to get rid of the enamel. So yeah, making some progress. It's slow, but we're getting there.
1 week later.
So I haven't been doing much recording because I've been doing a lot of little fiddly sort of shit. Mostly like I've had a look at the GPS on the PowerTune dash, because there's 4 pins on the dash itself, 5 pins on the GPS module. I think I just started it at the wrong end. Alex is just doing skids behind me. Anyway, I think I had it starting from the wrong end, so hopefully that'll be sweet when it's actually in and we can test it. And I may have got a little bit on the piss and painted over all the rust repairs. Just, yeah. It's dodgy. Realise the paint colour, the base acrylic white doesn't really match the white of the car, so it doesn't really matter. Plan on respraying it after matsuri and all that anyway, so get what else I did. You can't remember what else I did? Nah, neither can I. So apparently Alex didn't approve of my paint job on the side of it and redid it for me. The way I had it set up on the old wagon was I had a 4-gauge stereo amp wire running to the back, distributed off of that to the sound system and to the fuel pump, which seemed to work fine, supplied plenty of power, and was on a fuse circuit. And then I had fuses off for the fuel pump separately off of the distribution, so it's not too bad. So I'm going to do the exact same with this, because I get this whole kit for like 70 bucks, and that helps my stereo, and the wire's still heavy enough to carry the voltage it needs for all of it, so not too concerned. So I'm going to put that in. That's nice and fresh, and I just got to run one of my old set of RCA leads through, and then I'll have everything to run through the car to wire up my stereo again. So then I can put the head unit in, which means I can fit the hydro handbrake in, because it's not going to be in the way of fitting the head unit. Yeah, bunch of shit that I'm just trying to get in, so I'm not taking it back out again to fucking put more shit back in. It's starting to actually come together and look a bit like a car, which is kind of helping the motivation, because there's not a whole fucking lot of that at the moment. But got this, I got a new distribution block, so I'll run the power wires on the right hand side of the car. I'll run the power wire up that side, because that's not where the ECU is, and then I'll run the RCAs and speaker wire and all that shit on the left hand side, run up that way and distribute it from there. That way I shouldn't get interference in my sound system, and I shouldn't get power interference through the ECU or anything like that. So it should be sweet, shouldn't have any issues with it. Not like it was in the other one, where I moved the power wire and then I had interference in the stereo, and then the stereo fucked up, and then I had no music for 6 months. But we're making progress. It's just a lot of fiddly shit that doesn't look very big. But it's what it is. It's all part of it. So, yeah. Woo-hoo! Fuck, she's shiny. It's like reflective. It's actually kind of a nice white. Alright, so I'm gonna fit up the tailgate garnishes, little tail light fucking doobie bits that make the arse end look good. But because it's not a factory tailgate that has them, you gotta redraw your holes. So what I'm gonna do, a little bit of grease, gonna put a dab of grease on each one of them, line it up where it's gotta go, and then that'll show us where we're gonna drill our holes. So, can't even open up the fucking tub of grease. Oh my God. It worked. Can you see that on video? Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. We got the power wire run through, didn't end up getting to running all the other wires or anything like that, just purely ran out of time for the weekend, and it's really hard to get out there through the week, particularly with work and all that sort of stuff. So, is what it is. I kind of wanted to get everything sort of up to date so I'm not chasing my tail too much if I've got too much content. And it's right before Matsuri, because you can't release Matsuri prep videos after Matsuri. It's just not right. Not in my mind, anyway. But, anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. It goes a long way towards supporting the channel. Let us know your thoughts down below. Hit that notification bell if you want to be able to see the videos when they first pop up. The quicker you guys get on them, the more the algorithm favors me. Grows the channel. Everyone's happy. But anyways, thank you all for coming. I really appreciate you watching the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.